All right, I have waited as long as I can. I have got to do one of these great big black things and see what that's all about. Great googly mooglies, that sucker was heavy. Man. All right, well, it says APC, so we know it's a battery backup of some sort. Let's hope the weight is in some nice big batteries. Although a nice big copper toroid would be cool too, right? Come on, let's dive in. Oh, baby cakes, this thing is really, really heavy. All right. Wishful thinking that that's going to open up that easy. This is concerning because this probably was where the batteries went in, so that weight is not a battery pack. It's probably a toroid. A great big knocking toroid. And that could be cool too if it's copper. Let me get these brackets off of here. So if you're the person that asked about the cases, email me. My email is in my About page so that we can figure out what it is you want. All right, so we've got a whole bunch of cabling connectors there we'll deal with. Got a couple of big transformers here. So that's what the weight is all about. Probably don't need to take these out, but we're here, so we will. Alrighty. Now then. So there's brass down inside of those. We might go after that brass. Plenty of number 2 insulated copper wire here. And then some switches that'll just go in with my little metal bits. There's a big old knocking chunk of cable there. So lots of number 2 here that we can get after. And then we'll take this off because those are copper. So we'll want to separate those for sure. Come on, you. All right, so the weight is these 2 big transformers. There's no batteries in here. But there's some real nice cabling in here. Though it's got a lot of insulation, that's still going to be number 2 insulated. I was hoping I might be able to get some number 1 out of this, but nope. Lots of insulation on this. Oh well, nothing wrong with a little number 2. What about you? Yeah, you're gonna go in number 1. Yeah, so this cable here, nice and thick. The insulation isn't terrible on this, so that'll go in with number 1. And that we already said was number 2. Yeah, we're going to put you in with number 1. Now your yard may have different categories. My yard calls it number 1 and number 2 insulated copper wire. Some yards do these things where they say percentage, 45% copper, that kind of thing. It's still kind of a estimate though, right? I mean, some wires very clearly number 1, number 2. Others are kind of borderline. Do the best you can. Gee, that's an interesting fixture. Yeah, so we'll be going after that copper that's there. This is like a fuse. Well, it's not like a fuse, it is a fuse. So it's just a very robust fuse for this failure mode. On here, let's see if we can open that up so you can see inside of there more clearly. So you can see that the copper comes up inside there, and if there was too much current, that copper would fail and your fuse would open. I'm going to cut this off for number 1. And let's see, yeah. Same here. Yeah, that's all number 1, easy. Alrighty, let's see if we can get these transformers out of here. That'll make the load a little bit easier to manage. All right, I go. The heavy stuff causes me to make up new languages. Man. Some shred. All right, yeah, that's almost nothing now. So, let's hope that there's copper in there, because I'd be really, really upset if that's Chinesium. Ooh, that's a good sign. they're going to use copper banding like that, then there's a very good possibility that it's copper wires inside of here. And we know that this wire is copper because we already looked at this. So we know those wires are all copper going in there. Oh, that, you know what? This is really nice because that's all this copper banding is all wrapped around there like that. So that's nice. Let's see what this side looks like. I'm already fine with putting this in with my copper motors. Guys at the yard will enjoy looking at that, seeing that copper banding like that. But here, let's check these wires on this side. We saw that they were copper out here, insulated copper out here, but that doesn't mean that they're insulated copper in the transformer because they're connected to another series of wires. But it looks like, here we are. Here's one of the wires they're welded to, so let's see what that is. Yep, that's copper. All right, these are copper bearing motors, so there's some good value there. What do you think? I should do the weighted cost average for these big power supplies? Oh yeah, yeah, that would be some work. All right, we're going to need the extender because this is a very deep cavity. Do 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 do. Hard to find all the screws here. There. Now then, yes, that was getting in the way, okay, because I've got to be able to slide the board back, and that means I need to unscrew these guys. You think that's really brass? Nope, it only looks like brass. Little sneakers. All right, now it slides back. There's some slotted pinholes, and I had to maneuver it past those slotted pinholes. Okay. Now we got to get you guys out of the way. Get the fans out of the way. Now, the board is going to come out. Okay, so big old power board here. Let's get these cables cut. What did I decide with you? I think we can go number 1 with you. Yeah. All right, now we have to get the heat sinks out of the way so I can get at the rest of the wire. Or, for now, let's just cut this wire. And you are you Cat 5? You are Cat 5. So we'll do the cold connector in and then Cat 5 wire. So you can see this is a great big power board, so it's going to go in with the low grades. We got some copper toroids we can take off. We can take off some more transformers. These solenoid switches, some people like to get those for the silver that's inside of them. Some people even like to go after these MOSFETs because these have copper heat shield or heat sinks on them. There's a bunch of ICs in here and flat packs, as well as a few scattered tantalums. And then we have these aluminum heat sinks here with a whole bunch of MOSFETs on them. And I'm trying to figure out the best way for them to come off so that I can get the rest of the wire. I think we are going to make my shop teacher proud again. Or roll over in his grave, one or the other. Oh, you know what? We may not need to mess with the rest of this. Here, I'll show you why. You see all these MOSFETs, the way they're screwed in here? A lot of times I found that these MOSFETs don't like to play when they're screwed in like that. So there's a part of me that's thinking what I might just do is get this wire out of here. We can go number 1 on that. And I'm thinking I may just leave those the way they are. Those MOSFETs don't always unscrew real easily. Let's go ahead and give it a try. All right, we'll see. Oh, look, we got a little silver contact came out of something there. Yeah. I just don't want to play. I am not going to mess with it. So here's the quick options that I have. Now that this one's busted off, I can take and cut this and put this in with the aluminum, sheet aluminum. These, now that I made a total mess of things here. Total mess of things. These I think I might just leave on here. But let's see what we can do about these transformers. So I'm going to throw those in with copper bearing motors. And then these toroids. Somebody suggested that I do a video series on all the ways that you can ruin your wood chisel. It looks to me like the real value in these UPS is going to be the weight from the two transformers that will get bought as electric motors. So there's going to be some good value there. And then there's a bunch of little odds and ends and the number 2 and number 1 insulated copper wire and things like that. Well, let me know if you'd like me to dig in a little deeper with a weighted average analysis. I've got a few more I could take a look at. In the meantime, here's some links taking you to more Shark Scrapper content so that you don't miss a thing.